Good evening. It's Saturday, the 28th of January, and it's time for the news on RIK2. President Nikos Anastasiadis has discussed the latest developments in the Cyprus problem during a meeting with Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras in Lisbon today. The two met on the sidelines of the EU Mediterranean Group in Portugal. The president also held bilateral meetings with French President François Hollande, Italy's Prime Minister Paolo Gentiloni, and Spain's Mariano Rajoy. The heads of state or government of Cyprus, Portugal, France, Greece, Malta, Spain and Italy took part in the Mediterranean EU State Summit in Lisbon. The summit's aim is to coordinate positions on common challenges ahead of an informal EU summit, which will take place in Malta on February the 3rd. The Lisbon summit focused on matters pertaining to the future of the EU, immigration, internal and external security, and economic and social growth. Mediterranean EU member states are coordinating their EU strategy as part of a newly formed Mediterranean bloc. The Med Group, which made clear during their inaugural summit in Athens in September last year that they do not form a threat within the Union or any other state, discussed common challenges. Celebrations marking tonight's official opening of European Capital of Culture Paphos 2017 were underway in the coastal town since early morning. EU Commissioner Christos Stylianidis addressed the opening ceremony at 7 p.m, highlighting that Paphos is the first Cypriot and smallest European city to host a European Capital of Culture. Under the theme Linking Continents, Bridging Cultures, the city of Paphos uses different art forms and many events showcasing past centuries of culture, as well as addressing the socio-economic problems facing Europe today. In addition, a superb performance took place at noon from the Aarhus Jazz Orchestra at Kennedy Square in the heart of Paphos Old Town. Denmark's Aarhus and Paphos, the two European capitals of culture for 2017, will be connected throughout the year by a series of common projects and actions, of which this performance was the first. British Prime Minister Theresa May said in Ankara today that Turkey should maintain human rights and the rule of law. She was alluding to the arrests and sacking of thousands of people following last July's failed coup. May, visiting Turkey after a trip to Washington where she met US President Donald Trump, is making her first foreign visits as Prime Minister, promoting trade deals to strengthen her hand in negotiations to leave the European Union. Speaking to reporters at the presidential palace in Ankara after meeting President Tayyip Erdogan, May called Turkey one of Britain's oldest friends. May also said the two countries had agreed to form a joint working group for post-Brexit trade and would step up an aviation security programme. Erdogan told reporters that he discussed steps towards defence industry cooperation with May and that he hoped to increase annual trade with Britain to $20 billion from $15.6 billion now. France and Germany have voiced disquiet over US President Donald Trump's decision to limit immigration and refugees from some Muslim countries, and they both reaffirmed a firm line on Russian sanctions. Speaking at a joint news conference in Paris with his German counterpart Sigmar Gabriel, French Foreign Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault said many of Trump's decisions worried the two US allies, including new immigration restrictions. Yesterday, Trump signed an executive order that will curb immigration and refugees from some Muslim-majority countries, and he separately said he wanted the United States to give priority to Syrian Christians fleeing the civil war there. Trump also said he was only in the early stages of considering whether to lift US sanctions on Russia, but insisted he wanted to follow through on his campaign pledge to pursue better relations with Russia. The French and German ministers also said the United Nations remained the best framework to lead peace talks about Syria. Veteran British actor Sir John Hurt, Oscar-nominated for his star turn in The Elephant Man and his supporting role in Midnight Express, has died after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. He was 77. Hurt, who had starred in more than 200 films and television series over a career spanning 6 decades, revealed in 2015 that he was suffering from the early stages of pancreatic cancer and that he was receiving treatment. Hurt, a native of Derbyshire in England, said at the time of his cancer diagnosis that he intended to continue working. He most recently starred in the Sundance TV crime series The Last Panthers. And now a look at tomorrow's weather. Clear skies with moderate to fresh westerly to southwesterly winds, later becoming northerly, force 4 to 5. The sea will be moderate to rough. Temperatures will reach 12 Celsius inland, 13 in coastal areas, and -2 over the mountains where frost is developing. The depth of snow is 80 centimetres on Mount Olympus and 70 on the Troodos Square. That's all for tonight. Join us tomorrow again for more news in English. Have a very good evening.